let's go through this. For this one, what is the degree and name? Cece. Good. Excellent. 5. And quintic. Good. Okay, factored form, Lila. Perfect. Good. Excellent. Okay, so when it comes to factored form, no matter what, always look for the greatest common factor, which is x squared. And then you're left with x cubed minus x squared plus 9x minus 9, where you're then able to factor by grouping. Okay, some of you might have tried using synthetic division, which you can, but always remember that you have the greatest common factor first. If you wanted to do synthetic division with your new, go right ahead. Okay, what is my y-intercept, Sawyer? 0, 0. Awesome. Okay. Rosanna, what are my x-intercepts? Perfect. 0, 0, and 1, 0. Plus or minus 3i will not be your x-intercepts because you cannot see them on the graph. Okay? So these are the correct x-intercepts. 0, 0, and 1, 0. Okay? The end behavior, Wes, what would it be? Okay. This is an odd degree, positive leading coefficient, so it's going to resemble a line of some sort, okay, with the arrows going in opposite directions. So now the max and min you had to find in your calculator, okay? With the max and min, if you were to zoom in, okay, if you were to actually press zoom and whatever the in one is, doing the x-intercept left and right, actually typing it in, sometimes doesn't work, okay, because it's so zoomed in. So if you took your basic graph that you see on your -10 to 10 screen, which is the standard screen, you would move your cursor, or you could use your x-intercepts. Okay, the left x-intercept would be, or x value to the left of that maximum was -1. Hit enter. Then it says right bound. Type in 1. Hit enter. Yes, enter. So what was our maximum? Blake, what was our maximum? 0, 0. Okay. And our minimum would be what, Sabrine? Okay. Assad. Minimum. Your minimum, rounding to the hundredths, should get something like this. Okay. So since there are still questions on this, okay, or we didn't get it, we're going to enter it in your calculator. Okay, so when you go to y equals x to the 5th minus x to the 4th, all right. And when you hit graph, this is what you see, okay? Now I'm just going to leave it as is. So I want to find the maximum, which maximum and minimums are always your turning points. Maximum from increase to decrease, minimum decrease to increase. Here we have one of each, okay, because we have two that are imaginary. So from here, second trace. Number 4 is your maximum, okay? So where it says left bound, just for now, I'm going to move the cursor. I'm going to show you both ways. move the cursor a little bit to the left, hit enter. Where it says right bound, I'm moving my cursor to the right. I hit enter. It says guess. And anytime you see e to the negative whatever, what does that mean? 0, right? So our maximum, as we could tell from this graph, is 0, 0. Okay? Now that's using moving the cursor left, enter, right, enter, guess, enter. So now we're going to do second trace. We're going to find the minimum, which is number 3. Oops, let me try that again. Second trace, minimum, number 3. Where it says left bound, I'm going to show you with the x-intercepts. 0 is to the left of that minimum. I'm going to hit enter, and then 1 is to the right. I'm going to hit enter, and the minimum is exactly what we were told. 0.68 and negative 1.40. Okay? And we keep the point as is, x and y, because you need it for increasing and decreasing. Okay? Any questions? Yes, Liam. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is there like that point where you would add another to that point?
Correct. So if there's more than one, anytime there's more than one minimum, you could either list them out or put the u's in between. You don't need to for max and min.
So we're going for like left bound, right bound for each.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. For each turning point you do. Okay. Yep. Each turning point. All right. So where am I increasing? Cyan, where am I increasing? Yep. Perfect. Good. Okay. Where am I decreasing? Addison. Good. Awesome. Good. Now, where am I positive? Let's see, Esteban, where am I positive? Okay. Genevieve, where am I positive? Good. 1 to infinity. Where am I negative? Nolan. Perfect. Excellent. Okay. Now we broke it up at 0 because it touches the x-axis. Okay. By touching the x-axis, we have to split it up. Right. This wasn't on yours. Okay. But as a little recap, where are we touching the x-axis according to your factors? Danielle? 0, 0. Okay, so when x equals 0, because that's the x squared. Where are we crossing? Braden? 1, 0. Good. Okay. Now, our domain, Caitlin, would be what? Good. And my range, Jack? Good. Awesome. Good job. All right. So, any questions on the one we just did? Okay. On the formative, okay, that you got back, I would say the back went pretty good, okay? The back page where you had to use your calculator, that wasn't bad. Surprisingly, with people still a little shaky on finding the max and mins, most of you did very, very well, okay? However, what was a little concerning was how to write these equations, okay? So, if you look at 3a, it says a polynomial has an odd degree and a positive leading coefficient. It has an x-intercept at -4 with a multiplicity of 2. So, how would I write that as a factor? Yes, Dana. x plus 4 squared. Then it says has an x-intercept at 5 with a multiplicity of 1. Saying. Okay, this is all you need. You don't have to add in x squared or x. Be careful because if you do, those are additional x-intercepts and the degree might be off. Okay, so what's happening at -4 if I had to graph this? Which you guys did. Sawyer. Good. And at 5? Good. So odd degree, positive leading coefficient, this is what it would look like. Here's -4. Here's 5. Those are x-intercepts, bouncing off at -4, crossing at 5. Okay? Then for B, polynomial has an even degree and negative leading coefficient. So automatically, negative leading coefficient, what am I putting in front? Saying? Negative sign. Done. Then x-intercept of 2 with a multiplicity of 2. What would that look like? Go ahead, Cyan. Good. And x-intercept of -1 with a multiplicity of 4 would look like what, Addison? Good. Now, both of these, what is happening on the graph? Liam?
They're both touching.
Good. Okay, and it's a negative leading coefficient and even. So is it both up or both down? Down. Okay, so 1, 2. Okay, now your calculators will probably show you something a little bit different. However, showing that they're touching and both going down, that's a sketch. That's it. Okay, so something like this front page would be non-calc. Back is only the max and mins. You really need your calculator for. Okay. For the additional practice, were there any questions on that? The first one you already actually saw already. Okay. Yeah, Liam.
For the second problem.
The minimum you gotta find in your calculator for the minimum. So doing that, let's see. I'll type it in real quick. So the minimum is right here. Okay, so I would do the same thing. Second trace, number 3. I'll choose -4. Oops. Negative. Oh, I did -1. Hold on. Sorry. 3. -4. -1. And this is approximately 3. -3. -3, -4. So you would still find the minimum, max and mins the same way. Okay? As you should, because just using the x-intercept and y-intercept will not give you those 2 points. Okay? All right. Any other questions? Okay. Take out your Chromebooks. You are going to see this pear deck. Okay? It goes through a little bit of everything without the max and mins, just the basic information to sketch it. Now, your graph should include any points that you know of, okay? So it goes through factored form. It goes through x-intercepts, y-intercepts, sketching the graph, writing an equation, and behavior. Okay? So once you go on to Google Classroom, you're going to see Pear Deck. Go on to Pear Deck, click the link, and I will let you know if there is, or you guys will see, feedback. So if something's wrong, I will write in some feedback. Okay? When you are done with the Pear Deck, we are going to begin, where is it? The midterm review. Okay, I already checked this, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, will be the midterm review. All right, so you may get started on the Pear Deck right now. Yep, quickly. Not bad, a few little issues here and there. But as we go through this, just jot down any notes that you may need to take. Okay, oops, this out of the way. All right, so when you are running this and they are giving you a 0 to start with, okay, that's what you're going to start synthetic with. So you have 1, -3, 0 in its place, and 4. Bring down the 1, 4. Okay, so right now, since that is 0 and they're telling you that, that is part of your factored form already. Okay, x plus 1 should be included. Then you're left with x squared minus 4x plus 4, which can be factored to what? Danielle? X minus 2 squared. And that is your additional part of your factored form. A lot of you forgot about the 0 given to you. Okay, that is part of your factored form. Okay? Then it asks for the y-intercept, which everyone got correct, which is what? 0, 4. When in doubt, always substitute 0 in for x for any type of problem to find your y-intercept. Okay? Then it's asking for x-intercepts. Well, here's a recall of what factored form was. So you're using factored form to find your x-intercepts, which are what? 2, 0, and -1, 0, which are given to you. Okay? Now we look at and behavior. Be careful of notation. And some of you wrote feedback for this. As x gets larger, so it's switched. Okay? As x gets larger, where's y heading? Infinity. As x gets smaller, where is it heading? Negative infinity. Okay? So pay attention to the notation. We've seen a lot of the time negative infinity comes first, but it's not every case. So make sure we're paying attention to that. Okay? Then it says sketch a graph. Well, you know 3 points already. You know -1, you know your y-intercept of 4, and at 2, and the end behavior. What's happening at -1? Are we touching or crossing? Come on, you guys, everybody. Cross. At 2, what's happening? Touch. So you go through, come down, and you bounce right off. Okay? That's an exact sketch. The only thing we don't know and don't have exact of are what the max and mins are. Okay? But we know those 3 points to help us create our graph. Okay? Then the last one was writing an equation. Okay? Given this. Okay? It's an odd degree. Negative leading coefficient. So automatically, what should you include? Yep. Negative sign at the start. That takes care of this. Then it says it has an x-intercept of -2 with a multiplicity of 2. What does that look like? Danielle? X plus 2 squared. And an x-intercept of 3 with a multiplicity of 1. What would that look like? Rosanna? And that is your factored form. Some of you I saw on other homeworks and stuff were trying to do it out, or even the formative, trying to do it out into standard form. Don't do that. You're making more work for yourself. Factored form, easy, done. We're automatically done. Okay? So, midterm review, I started you off primarily a little bit of everything, including some of the graphing material, okay, that you will see on the non-calc section, okay, of our quiz on Friday. Okay, please do not forget your graphing calculators on Friday. You have plenty of practice. There's also in that packet some things we haven't done yet, or redo the problems that we did in class, okay, for the calculator piece. You should know end behavior. You should know what a degree is, how many turns, how to find the zeros, what are the x-intercepts, what are the y-intercepts, how to graph. Okay, so these are all things for Friday's mini quiz. And then I'm gonna post a little schedule for you in terms of the midterm review to keep you up to date. You do not want to wait till the 24th to do this review. You do not want to wait. Okay? There's a lot of material and it's all non-calc. All right?